Hi, my name is Bintu and I'm going to explain you the concept of OOPS. Whenever you read for any programming language, you come across a line that the language supports OOPS or it is a object oriented programming language. So the question is, what is OOPS? It's a technique through which you can use the functions that you make in a program in multiple way. To be very frank, the straight line is that it's a collection of objects. The question is that what are objects then? Objects are the instances or the types of the classes. The question might strike you that then what are the classes? Obviously, the classes are the collection of methods and variables. Like for example, this is a class. This is a small class in which I have mentioned two methods and it comprises of two members also, variables. You can have any number of variables, any number of functions, methods you can call them, into a class. Now the concept is that when you define an variable or an instance of a class, like this one is object one is an variable, or you can say the instance or the object of class A, what will happen is that this object one will have the right to use all the variables and all the methods of this class. Got it? Like for example, this is the way you can use it, variables and the methods of that class. Like the object one can use the variable 1, variable 2, it can invoke the method 1 and method 2. Okay, it's a class, it's several functions and variables are packed into one unit and you are calling it a class. Agreed. And its data types are known as objects. Okay, but what is the need of it? You can do the same thing through functions also. Let me tell you here the difference between method and a function. Function is a simple module which you can invoke from the main body of the program. When the function is enclosed into a class, we call it a method, right? The question is again the same. What is the extra benefit of using or packing the functions into a class? Why can't we use the functions independently? The answer is here. Like this is a small function. I'm calling it method 1. It comprises of two local variables A and B. Now the problem is that when you invoke this method 1 with two values like 2 and 4, 2 and 4 will be assigned to the variables A and B, right? When you invoke the same method afterwards with some other values, the previous value assigned to A and B will be overwritten by the subsequent values. Like initially the A and B variables were assigned values 2 and 4. When you call the method for the second time, what you'll find is that the values A and B will be overwritten by 3 and 6. Now if you use the values A and B, you'll find the values 3 and 6. And what about the values 2 and 4? It has been obviously overwritten. So the problem is that in the functions, whenever the subsequent call is made, the previous values of the local variables of the function are overwritten. In OOPS, this is the benefit. In the OOPS, what will happen that the previous calls will not override the values of the earlier call. When a method is called through an object, the values of that object will persist. Let's see it in a very clear way. Like here, let's see it. You make one object of class A, you make another object by name say object 2 of class A. Now what will happen in the methods and variables of class A will be assigned to object 1. The second copy of methods and variable will be assigned to object 2. Like if method 1 is called by object 1 with 2 and 4 values, the values will be confined to object 1 only. That means the 2 and 4 will be assigned to the local variables say A and B of object 1. It will never interfere with the values of object 2. That is because both have the separate premises. No object will interfere the values or members of another object. This is its beauty. So this concept of hiding the values of one object from another is known as encapsulation. So this is the benefit of using OOPS. The best part is that you can have several objects and each have its own values. Nobody will interfere with another. Not only this data encapsulation, OOPS support many other things, like it supports one very important aspect, that it supports inheritance. Inheritance means using the methods and variables of one class straight away into another class. That is, you don't have to write the methods and members again. You can reuse them. Reusability is another concept. Like for example, this is another class. It has two methods, method 3 and method 4. It can have any number of methods. It has two variables also, but it is inheriting the class A. That means the methods, the variables and methods of class A will be assigned to, or the class B will have the right to use the methods and variables of class A2. Like this is the object 2 of class B. Now the object 2, which is the instance or object of class B, can not only access the methods of class B, but it can access the methods and variables of class A2. This is inheritance. So you don't have to begin anything from scratch. Not only inheritance, there are several other aspects like polymorphism, abstractions. There are so many aspects in OOPS that makes it very highly popular among developers. A few of the languages that support OOPS are C++, Java, C#, Python, PHP, etc. If you got any problem in understanding more concepts in any of the programming languages, please call me or you can mail me at bmharvani@yahoo.com. Have a nice day.